Question for you. Why are more women than ever cheating on their husbands? Do you want the long answer or do you want the short answer? Because we'll give you the long answer here with the rest of the video. But the short answer is women never really liked men all that much. They just kind of liked the resources that they could acquire from them to begin with. But thanks to feminism and driving down the cost of the overall workforce, well, they had the ability to go out there instead of being saddled with a faithful beta. They could go out there, bang the hot Chad, nab the hot alpha for a night, have no fault divorces, get all the cash and prizes, and live that Sex in the City lifestyle. Just don't read any of the editorials of the author of Sex in the City and about how much she regrets her lifestyle. No, you can go do it, girl. They're pushing back the clock. Don't you see how fantastic and wonderful all the Kardashian girls look at this point in time? And Madonna, yeah, no, she's a spitting image of that hot, sexy thing back in the 80s. You go, girl. Nikki has been married for 15 years. Depends on when she got married and what's the rest of the time frame, because you're not giving us the appropriate numbers. Okay, some of them here, so okay. She's been cheating on her husband for 12 of them. Yo. Why is he putting up with it? Well, he probably has something to lose, to be completely honest. He was probably that faithful beta that decided we need to wife up these hoes. Probably a lifetime subscriber to Daily Wire. The mother of two, who is in her late 30s. Keeps track of her potential paramours, via spreadsheet. Listen, man, that's a female exclusive trait, and especially if you got, well, girls know every guy that they slept with. If it's 2, if it's 1, if it's 100, they know exactly what it is. That's just hoe behavior that you keep it down in a spreadsheet. I'll tell you. Guys, on the other hand, oh, you're likely, if they remember your name, I don't know, maybe just once or twice. Like, you're just not all that special. But she has an untraceable Google Voice number for communicating with her suitors and arranges a rendezvous through WhatsApp. Imagine a guy who's coming out and exposing the game like this. It wouldn't be written in such a salacious way. He would already be painted as a bigot, a monster, and a misogynist. Here, it's just Nikki. She's been married, and she's been fucking everybody who's been throwing their dick at her. She generally juggles multiple sexual partners at a time. Yo, this bitch belongs not just to the streets, to the fucking highway, to the interstate. And once she's had sex with 4 different men on the same day. Yo, that's somebody's mom. Yo. Sure, one of those 4 hookups lasted all of 20 minutes, but she didn't care. She just didn't want to be cuddled. Yo, this bitch is broken. Full stop. Yo. Afterwards, she said she showered, took a work meeting, went on a dinner date, and had fun with another man. Afterwards, she said, oh, right, I'm sorry, her verdict, it was amazing. We don't know everything yet, and I haven't pre-screened this article at all whatsoever, but it's interesting. I would imagine, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I would posit as the dynamic in this relationship to begin with. Not the one of the 4 guys that she has in rotation. No, her and her husband. He was probably the breadwinner at some point in time. She was probably moving up the corporate ladder. You know, maybe it was a 50-50 relationship to begin with. You know, she came in, she got the kids, all that stuff. She's in her late 30s right now. She's been cheating all the way through her 30s because, let's be honest, if she's saying late 30s, it's 38 or 39. More than likely 39. So even still. So she would have got married at 24, pumped out a couple of kids. You know, she had everything that she wanted, except for copious amounts of dick from a guy that she probably passed on the corporate ladder, okay? She was probably all ready for the streets before she even got wifed up. She probably had a fantastic university experience. She probably married some guy that was in the friend zone, provided for her, you know, gave her the kids, and now she has the upper hand in the relationship, and this guy has absolutely nothing to gain from divorce outside of just bi-monthly visits with the children and still has to pay alimony and child support. It was so cool because I got to really be in the driver's seat and I got exactly what I wanted, and I just happened to feel sexually greedy that day. Nikki, not her real name, reveals in the new iHeartRadio podcast She Wants More, hosted by author Joe Piazza. Yo, this bitch busted. Woman who sleeps with 4 guys in a day. There's something there, like trauma-wise. Like, women aren't built for that. It's such a power trip to be able to command the sexual presence of people you desire. No, it's fucking easy. Hey, I want to fuck. As a woman, you send that text out. You send it out there. The receiver's gonna make it happen. So it's not impressive. Like, women can give away sex at a moment's notice. So that's why hoes are admonished. Rightfully so. You know, guys love hoes. I love me some hoes. I'd never wife up a hoe. Her husband fucked up in this situation, but he probably already secretly knows that, and it's probably the hottest piece of acid he ever got before in his life, so he's rationalizing it in a whole bunch of different ways. Or maybe he's just, I'm just trying to keep the family together. It's like, well, she's not, and you're just looking like a gigantic fucking fool, because a woman can't keep her hoe tendencies under wraps. That is a work of fiction. So if her husband doesn't know, somebody else does, and he's been clued into this at some point in time, and he's just having a tough time reconciling that. It's like, no, my wife loves me, and even though she's not here all the time, you know, she texts me occasionally, and just continues to punch air. A weak bitch. Like, yo, her shit would be out at the fucking curb, but hey, man, you wifed her up to begin with. But yeah, she thinks that being a hoe is liberating, whatever, until you hit 45, and then nobody wants you anymore, and then you start to regret all of your decisions, because yeah, you're in your late 30s. Chances are you probably held yourself together in some decent fashion, but father time is undefeated, and I don't say that with any sort of glee in my voice. It's a fucking fact of life. Women are given their sexual market value up front, and it's incumbent on them to leverage it to get the best suitor that's out there and to make it last. And then by going out there and taking miles of random dick, you aren't doing yourself any favor. Nikki appears on the first episode of She Wants More, Piazza's 8-part series. Of course, because women are fucking lazy, they couldn't make it into a full-time thing, examining female infidelity. Yo. Piazza herself, a married mother of 3, has spent the last 5 years interviewing wedded couples for the podcast Committed. All right. About 2 years ago, she learned that a friend of hers was cheating on her spouse. And how did that relationship end? Then she learned of another and another. Piazza was shocked and intrigued. Yo, this is why. Okay, yeah, she said that, yeah, she's a married mother of 3, was living a wonderful life, you know, had the kids, had the husband and all that stuff, and then her fucking whole friends get in on it and start to ruin everything. That's why if you're in a good relationship, you gotta check your woman's friends, especially if she has any male friends. They just want to fuck her at a moment's notice, so you just make sure that those guys don't exist. But also, her whole friends desperately want her to be single as well, because crabs in a bucket, whenever one gets too far out, hey, girls trip, we're going to Vegas this week. Why don't you come to the beach? You don't hang out with us anymore. Get back in here. I was seeing so many more women I know have affairs, and a lot of women I didn't expect. Piazza told the Post, fucking Abdul, get the rocks. She spent a year interviewing some 24 women from different ages and backgrounds and all over the country about their extramarital affairs, from a young gymnastics coach who fell in love with her husband's best friend. Yo, that hurts my heart. Guys who snake each other for a piece of pussy. Oh, there's some good stories I could tell you about that one. Do I? I'm kind of in a sharing mood tonight. Yeah, I had a decent friend when I was growing up. He was a pretty good friend. We would hang out all the time, but he was terrible with women. Very, very bad with women. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and yeah, we would cut class every now and again. Oh, you know, as kids do every once in a while, and he had this big old crush on my girlfriend. It's not like she was all that or anything. Looking back at it, girls that I claim out in public, I can't say that about everybody that's ever been a phone call away. She was thin, but reasonably tall, yeah, about that tall, you know, about 100 pounds. Like, she was cute, but he was constantly trying to hit her up. Constantly on her ass all the time. And I was always like, you just calm down first. So you stay over there. That's mine, not yours. Not really knowing the game at the time. I should have just cut him off like that. But he eventually got the gist of it, because one day, for whatever reason, we couldn't go to anybody's, home to read the Bible, study mathematics, whatever we were doing. Okay, so we had to go to his place. His parents were gone to work for the day, and we were watching a movie or something like that. Well, at least he was, and we were reading scripture together. We'll just go ahead and say that. I made sure that he knew very well what was happening. And after that moment, we never, ever, ever talked again. Because if you hang around with guys who are bad with women, they will try to snake you for pussy at a moment's notice. I've known this for a long fucking time. I could have been more graphic with that story, and chances are if you've got a pretty decent imagination, you could probably connect the dots. But you probably know a guy just like that. If you got a friend that's out there, or if you're a woman who's watching this, and congratulations, you're about 20 to 25% of the audience, and thankful for that. You have one of those guy friends that you have in the friend zone. You placed him there. You think that he's the good guy, the swell guy. You might even have him in your phone as Uber Eats or Uber. He has his position on your roster. He's that emotional tampon that you have just at a moment's notice that you can call up and just cry and let everything out to after Chad Thundercock had just, just flaked on you for the last time. And it's like, he's just such a jerk. And he is just hoping in the back of his mind, is this my opportunity to get some pussy? Can I get a crumb this time? It's like, no, you're in the friend zone. And guys are only in the friend zone because they choose to be in the friend zone. Get that fucking straight. Because once you're there, you're never getting out. And if you do, it's not going to be on good terms. You're going to end up, this fucking 304's husband. You want that? Yeah, I don't think so. But long story short, men and women, there's no such thing as platonic friends right there. Outside of some very rare exceptions, unless a guy or a girl works in a business that is contingent on their interaction with the opposite sex, then yeah, you could, even though that would kind of fall under business associates, but yeah, those situations are very rare and very few and far between, and chances are, if you got to pull to that example, you are just reaching and trying to justify a bad spot that you find yourself in. But here's where there's differences as well. Guys, I already explained it. You can't be friends with guys that are just bad with women and are trying to snake your girl. You do that, they're gone. Because it's not one of those bros before hoes. It's just that guy's going to cause you trouble if you give him an in. But as for women, if you got girlfriends that are trying to sleep with your man, that's a reassurance right there. They might not be overt about it. It's like, boy, he's looking awfully good. Wow, he's working a lot of hours. Boy, you have all the best jewelry. Oh, your clothes always just look so great. Girls, they're never going to be that direct, but they're just going to give you those little hints that guy, wow, he's that guy. Giving you the little hints that's the dude that other men want to be, and other women, including your friend, wants to fuck. And that'll satisfy that little hypergamous itch, knowing that, yeah, you kind of got the best guy that's there. And even, yeah, if, friend wants to give up the box, at the end of the day, you're still number one. But don't try to be no greedy dude. And I'm talking to the dude here for the second, You got a main girl and she has a friend that she wants to bring along, and you guys want to have a small little private Bible study session, if you know what I mean. Just don't do it with your main girl. It's the fucking atrocious situation, okay? Too many feelings get involved, too many side glances. You did this with that, and you did that one with that one. Okay, that was my favorite passage. Why'd you do that with her? Anyways, Nikki says she has become more confident. Oh, great. Back to this 304. More self-assured, more relaxed, and signing up for hookup sites like Ashley Madison. Yo, some people are still using that, huh? Holy. And embarking on her first affair more than a decade ago. Okay, that makes sense. If she's still using Ashley Madison, it's like, yo, drop your plenty of fish profile name. Holy. Ugh, who's this puffy thing? Before she would beg her husband to spank her and pull her hair. Yeah, this guy's a total beta. Anything that would add some excitement to the bedroom, and then feels embarrassed or ashamed, even undesirable, when he would ignore her requests. Yeah, this guy's a bitch. You married a British cigarette, my lady. I don't know if she was that forthright about this stuff, but you can kind of take it however you like, I guess. I don't have a lot of tension built up in my chest. Sorry, what? Or stress or anxiety or any kind of that negative cloud that grows within you when you go without it for so long. You start to look at the other person. Why can't you understand? Why can't you give me these feelings? Why are we stuck in a marriage when we deserve to be happy, deserve to feel good? Nikki confesses having that room to breathe just makes you less bitchy, or a lack of a better word. But then that also tells me if she's prioritizing sex like that, he was probably, even more so reinforces my initial take on this. This dude was the beta provider. She was just thinking that, I'm just going to be the good wholesome girl. I got all of the dick out of me. I went through my hoe phase. Now I can settle down with this guy. And then eventually, after a point in time, it's like, oh my God. She needed that choke me, spank me, pull my hair song not to be a song anymore. It needed to be a reality. And the old Poindexter's like, no, that's misogynistic. I couldn't do that to my queen. That's the mother of my kids. Well, sucks to suck, bro. You know what else that tells me? Yeah, he's not fulfilling other things in the relationship, because she wouldn't risk that stuff if you were that dude. Clearly, you're not that dude. She would have put all of those sexual desires on the back burner if you were the breadwinner, if you were that guy. You weren't. Now you pay the consequences by knowing that your girl is community fucking property. But okay, there's similarity in the different podcast subjects, similar traits. Often they met their spouses and married when they were very young, late teens, early 20s. Once again, hey man, shout out Rollo Tomasi's second book, Preventative Medicine. Goes through every stage in a woman's cycle, and it's bang on every fucking time. Every single time, man. For several, sex with their partner happened often less after having children, and they felt a lack of confidence or attractiveness as a result. Many felt that they could no longer communicate with their husbands, especially about their desires. Yeah, hanging out with too many single hoe friends, reading too many salacious romance novel of the open shirt pirate throwing her over the galley and then just jollying her Roger. Idle hands are the devil's playground, and if you don't put your girl to work, she'll find other work elsewhere. In fact, most of the women Piazza interviewed said that they love their husband and have no intention of leaving them. They just want a little variety. Only one woman interviewed, a former gymnastics coach, Katie, strayed because she fell out of love with someone else and was essentially run out of town when their mutual acquaintances found out. Yeah, exactly, because nobody likes a hoe. The weird thing about monogamy is that it's like saying red is your favorite color, and then you have to wear red and only red for the rest of your days, says Monique. Oh yeah, who has been married for 30 years, and if I wake up and I feel like wearing yellow, that doesn't mean that red is my favorite color anymore. No, of course not. Terrible analogy. Because I don't know about you guys. I put on a shirt. I tend to wear the same shirt for about a week. It all smells great because I have good body odor, or rather a lack thereof. I don't wake up every morning and stuff it in my asshole, okay? I don't try to choke myself with the drawstrings in my sweatpants, It's a little bit different when it comes to your box. And yeah, if you married your partner exclusively for his dick game, then you severely fucked up. Monique, an accomplished professional in her mid-50s with 2 grown kids. Oh, there's another one. Went on Craigslist. Yo, she's a professional hoe. She's not telling you all her stories. After her husband said he wasn't interested in a threesome. He was, unless you married a closeted homosexual, but just not with you. She ended up meeting a younger man and seeing him on and off for about 12 years. Yeah, that wasn't just an affair. That was another relationship, okay? Because if she was just out there getting random dick on Craigslist, that's a different thing. She was setting up another life with somebody who was a much better prospect. Okay, married for 30 years, in her mid-50s. She thought that she was missing out. And given the fact that they're giving her the pseudonym Monique, it's probably a black lady, so black don't crack, so she probably still looks pretty decently. Just throwing that Hail Mary one more time. All the kids are grown, nothing better to do. Her husband ain't that dude anymore. Probably was for a long time, but then all of a sudden, she started to read the 50 Shades of Grey. She started to listen to her other friends that were going through a divorce. There's a funny stat that's out there, okay? Women who are educated to a bachelor's degree, I think it's a bachelor's degree, 90% chance that they get divorced. Very, very interesting. And then also on top of that, if they, it has nothing to do with the secondary, or rather post-secondary schooling, divorce statistics. But if a woman has a friend that goes through a divorce, a 60% increase in the chance that they get a divorce. And if they have a friend of a friend who gets a divorce, I think it's a 33% increase. They're going to get divorced as well. So hanging around with shitty friends is going to end up, for your girl, implanting terrible propositions. And she's also thinking, oh, fuck, well, I want to go get some dick. Because she would have been, okay, so mid-50s. So she would have been, what, early to mid-40s when she first stepped out? But it's funny, she's not even being honest about this. The affair was fun, sexy, and enriching, but she would never call it romantic. You guys were seeing each other and fucking for 12 years. That's not how women operate. It's not. But if you asked him what are her children's names, he wouldn't know. Well, that's fair. I can barely remember anybody's name that I haven't seen in the past week, so it's tomato. Monique says her first fling. Since then, she's experimented in BDSM, had a threesome, and even wore a corset and a strap-on for one partner's erotic Victorian fantasy. Yo, that was probably the last time that she's seen him, and probably categorized him in the same category that her husband is in. Fucking bitch. For Monique, sleeping with other people is about having a broad experience of life. Funny, that's also what the other guys say. It's about having a broad experience. Exactly. As she puts it, it's an opportunity to meet at an intimate level the kind of person I would not otherwise encounter. Yeah, sure, whatever. The rest of this shit is so fucking haram. But yo, man, if your girl's having a affair behind your back, okay, if she is giving you any of these signs, that relationship is over, and she's just hanging on in order to cash out for the most and for the number of cash and prizes at the end of the day. It's just another reason why getting married with the state involved, at least, is just a you fucking mental L. Woman can cheat on a man that she admires, loves, and respects. And this is just example after example of, I wasn't really feeling it anymore. Translate the womanese, I don't respect him anymore. You have to be that dude 24/7, 365. No days off. It sucks, man, but that's the fucking truth. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.